Welcome back to Soul Said So. I am your lovely host, the Mystic Mover. And on this podcast, it is always my goal to help you get out of your mind and back into your soul. So today is a very special episode. I want to talk about what I have been learning about myself in regards to my faith and how it has really been highlighted during an extremely hard season. So, this current season that I'm in, I actually feel like I'm at that exit, like I'm about to be able to fly free. But let's not fast forward, let's rewind to last year, is when I felt like this hard season really got intense. And I mean, this has stretched me in ways that I never expected. Out of all of the things in my life that I've been through, that I've experienced, I really didn't expect, when you go through certain things, you start to think, well, if I've been through this, I can get through anything. Well, those were things that I could really point a finger at and be like, okay, yeah, that's extreme, whatever. But these were small things, character traits, mindsets, paradigms, things that had been instilled in me over a period of time that I was no longer present with because I was carrying them as if they were normal, as if it was something like a badge of honor. I've struggled in certain areas, and of course, I'm trying to heal these certain things, but at the same time, I'm not really putting a microscope under the many things that are going to always walk through life with me with every circumstance. How you have dealt with something 10 years ago, you could find yourself still dealing with it 10 years later if you don't get to the roots of what is going on. And these past few months have been in my roots, honey. And when I tell you, there has been some days where I'm like, I don't know. I I I have this deep belief on the inside of me. I can't say that it didn't waver because there are some days and there have been some times coming towards the end of this walk where my faith has wavered, and I had to ask God to please help me. Please be with me. Please change my heart. Please renew my mind and do it now because your girl is gasping for air. And now that I am in a space of being able to reflect because more time has passed, I'm looking back over my life and I'm reflecting on what I've learned about faith. What did I think that faith was? First and foremost, I want to start by saying that I have truly understood now how powerful faith is, why we're supposed to have faith. Like I've always said, you gotta have faith, you gotta have it. But how can you have something that you don't know what it really looks like? This thing is truly layered. It is so layered. I simply thought that faith just meant that you don't doubt. And if you're not doubting, then anything that is connected to anything that seems like doubt, then you're outside of faith. But what I've been learning in these past few seasons, I do want to share that with you guys today. And wherever you are in your life, on your journey, you're going to need faith. So I want to talk to you about what I've learned. Hitting in hot number one, what I've learned is faith is absolutely not pretending that everything is okay. Let me say it like this: pretending that everything is okay is not okay. There is a version of myself that I absolutely had to meet. Out of all of the things that I have been aiming for. I'm a very goal oriented person. I'm constantly, looking to check something off of my list. That has been the makeup of who I am naturally. And I realized that there is a certain point where you got to stop checking off these goal lists and you actually got to get out there and you got to live life. Okay. And I mean, in a way that brings you joy, in a way that brings you peace, happiness, inner child play, these types of things. However, pretending that I was okay has been a huge downfall in my life. I always thought of faith as being, you don't look at the negatives. You keep it positive. Keep it positive and keep it moving. But what I know now is that if life is hard, that is absolutely okay. It ain't gonna feel okay. And when things don't feel okay, we think that we gotta change something or we gotta pivot or I gotta just move. We start running. And I, baby, keep that Nike check on me because I've been a runner. Hello? I have ran from the stretching and the refining of things that needed to take place in my life simply because I didn't know that it was necessary. Everything is not okay because there is a version of yourself that you're going to have to meet. And you're going to have to learn the characteristics and the personality of this version of you. Why? Because this version of you is what's going to carry you through the next level and the next level and the next level. And if we don't have this version of self mastered, we are going to cause certain delays and self-sabotage in the process. And we're going to wonder why certain things are happening in the manner that they're happening. But it's not that they're happening that way. It's because we don't know how to navigate the version of self that we keep running from. And I've been running for a very long time, unconsciously running, I will say that. It's not like I was trying to put difficult things on the back burner, but I thought that you overlook certain things and you keep pressing towards the mark. No, it's going to come a time in your life where you're going to have to deal with how disappointment made you feel, how rejection made you feel, how abandonment made you feel, how losing made you feel. You're going to have to sit with that version of yourself and understand the ins and outs of her, the whys. This is relationship with self. In order to walk in real faith, there has to be a relationship with yourself. I got to understand. I got to understand you, because if you're walking on a path with yourself and you don't even understand yourself, it is going to be easy for you to stop believing in certain things, because we start making it about our capabilities. And it's never about your capabilities, because anything that God, any gift, any talent, any position that God gives you, He already has equipped you to take over that arena. But as life happens and we start to grow without really understanding ourselves at the core of that growth, we do tend to lose it. We lose that relationship with ourselves. We begin to think that because something didn't happen in a certain way, or that we failed, or that we dropped the ball, we think that it's about what we're capable of doing. And it's never that. You're always capable for the things that you have been called to do. But there is a version of yourself that you do have to meet. So when everything seems as if it is not okay, lean into that. Feel it, process it, okay? And know that it's okay for this to be this way. I was very big on belittling myself when I wasn't feeling okay. Isolating myself, talking down, talking bad. Can't have a great conversation because there was a heaviness that's all over me. Like, goodness. Feeling sorry for myself, feeling guilty about certain things, feeling inadequate in certain areas of my life, but afraid to lean into it Because what does that say about me? How do I hold that version of myself? Where you will never know how to hold that version of yourself, how to comfort that version of yourself, especially if you were not taught. If you do not lean into it and develop a relationship, nurture yourself through that process, give yourself grace throughout that process, and bring yourself back, understanding that first and foremost, your ability to believe is always going to be found in the type of relationship that you have in yourself. You know yourself. You know you're capable. You know that you have everything on the inside of you that you're equipped for this. You know that. But when we have certain experiences that happen in our life, it can make us question it. But we weren't questioning. We didn't have questions about it before. But all of a sudden, something comes to test us. And now we start to question. So we have to ask ourselves, why are we questioning? What is it that we're questioning? Why now is my brain reverting and thinking in different ways because of this? What about this moment or this certain circumstance has made me change my stance on who it is I think and know and believe that I am? Or not even just am, but what I can do, or what's possible for me, or what's coming next for me, or what I am on a mission for. So the next thing that this great faith journey during a tough season has been teaching me is faith is not the absence of fear. I cannot tell you how afraid I've been. I think always been. I'm always afraid until I get in and I'm like, oh no, it's not that bad. Oh, I was glad I did this anyway because it's not as bad as I was making it. It is not about the absence of fear. It's about the fact that fear does not get to dictate what you do and don't do. Fear does not get to control the process. Fear does not get to say or have the last say. Do you really understand what fear actually does to people? Fear cripples you in a way where you start to not even be able to think clearly. You get so afraid that you even question yourself that how did I think that I was even able to do that? Or is this going to be something that is actually like, am I crazy? Like you start asking yourself all of these different things. But what I'm learning in this season is it's a natural human response to be afraid. But the reason why fear is there is because fear is going to be a giant that you're going to always have to fight. You're going to always have to fight, meaning you're going to have to know how to respond to yourself, through yourself, with yourself, as you are going into different levels in your life. You're going to get new opportunities that are going to come into your life, and you're going to be wondering, why did they pick me? Why did they choose me? What do they see? What is it? Am I able to really do this? That's going to be fear that's going to be speaking. That's going to be asking you those things, because of course you can do it. You have people who have been impacted by your work so much to the point now that they're starting to reach out to you. If that doesn't mean enough to you, I don't know what else could. But the simple fact that fear is a human nature, and that it's always going to be present, that means that of course I have to experience fear and know how to operate and navigate within that fear without letting it dictate my mission. Fear is the root of most people's problems, all the way from relationship to friendship to finance to creativity to being seen. All of these different things, there is one root, and it can be fear. Fear can either keep you from doing what it is that you need to do, or it can push you into the direction of what you need to do. However you choose to allow it to navigate you. But the biggest thing that I've learned in this season is, baby, you have nothing to be afraid of. And everything that you are afraid of is afraid of you. Your potential, your power, it's actually afraid of you. So, lastly, this hard season this has been the biggest one for me. It's actually one that I finally have started to really embrace, really start to understand the importance of, and start to develop. This is like the part of myself in which I'm developing a relationship with. And that is, you do not have to feel guilty for grieving. And when I speak specifically on grieving, I'm talking about grieving the life that you thought that you should be, or grieving whatever you thought, whatever you, a past tense thing that happened. Maybe you didn't stay on your job as long as you thought you were. Maybe you didn't stay in a relationship as long as you were supposed to, or that you anticipated. Like all of these expectations and anticipations that we have, we can come into a grievance of those things. So for me, I had been dealing with this really heavy emotion, and I'm like, bruh, this is not depression. I know it's not depression. It was days where I wanted to just sleep, 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 sleep. I hated to see the sun coming up. Hated that it was a new day. I just I don't want to speak to people. I don't want to do any. I just want to be like by myself. Just icky energy, not really feeling it. Everybody back. And I'm sitting with myself and I'm reflecting with myself, and I'm like, this is not depression. I'm not depressed because this ain't a happiness thing. It's like it's not that I don't know joy, or I don't know how to go and find joy. It don't got nothing to do with that. This is something different. This felt like, to me, when you get in the pool and then you come out that pool and your body feel like it's forcing its way back down to the ground. That's what I was feeling every day. And I'm like, bro, what is this on me that keeps feeling so heavy? I don't know what it is. So I started sitting down, processing, just thinking about where I come from, some things I had experienced, and I'm like, oh, this is grief. I'm grieving. I'm grieving. And I felt bad about it. I felt bad about it because I felt like grieving to me meant that you were ungrateful. You were ungrateful. You're not happy about where you are. You're not seeing the happiness. You're not seeing the protection. You're not seeing the provision of where you are. And I hear people saying, like, it could be worse. And so when I'm grieving in a place where it could be worse, that made me feel even worse. Okay. Because I'm starting to feel guilty. I'm holding guilt. But let me tell you something. You are going to have to feel emotions to release those emotions. Faith does not require you to suppress emotions. It doesn't. There are going to be some times where you're going to be disappointed, where you're going to be upset, where you're going to feel uncomfortable emotions. And I tell you what, if you do not sit with those emotions, connect with them and understand what it is, why they're there, what they're trying to teach you, what it is that you can do to move forward in forgiving and releasing, then that means that you're going to carry that with you wherever it is that you go. And that is unnecessary baggage. And at some point, you're going to have to put it down. At some point, it's going to be too much for you to carry. And what I had to understand and learn about myself was it's okay to not be okay with where you are. It does not stop what's coming for you. Because again, I'm like, bro, ain't no way I'm feeling like this and I'm trying to manifest this. Like, how is it like that's not going to happen? But that is a part of the manifestation process. It is to clear away what is here that should not be here so that we can make room for what it is that we actually want. And that process a lot of times happens through us grieving. You are going to have to grieve certain things off of you, out of you. Okay? If you don't grieve, you're just holding. It's just a holding space. Ain't nowhere, ain't no way for the emotions to release out of your body without you giving it a permission to. And the only permission that you will be able to give is to allow. Allow the feeling, allow the understanding, and release it with grace when the time is right. One thing that I also try to do was force my grieving to leave. This ain't no overnight process. I heard a lady speaking and she was saying that somebody could be in a car accident right now, get hit 100 miles per hour, car accident, boom. And we can understand from that perspective that it's going to take that person some time to heal. But whenever it comes to emotions internally and mental, on a mental and spiritual level, we don't really understand how traumatic that healing is the same. That physical body, when it has any type of impact of trauma, it takes time for it to heal. And just like that physical impact has to heal, that emotional impact has to heal on that same type of trajectory, if not longer, depending on how many times you've been hit with that emotion. And so allowing yourself to feel, grieve, whatever it is, it's necessary. It don't feel good. But guess what? Everything about this type of work, this type of discipline, it does not feel good. But is it necessary? Especially if you really want it like you say that you want it, you have to allow the processes that seem like they just, like, why are you here? What does this mean? Like, what is this process even going to do? If it feels like it's unnecessary, or if it feels like, we got other ways to get around it, a lot of times that's the very type of process that you need in order for you to start being free. So I didn't mean to talk this long, guys, but I just wanted to share with you what I was learning during the hard season about faith, and wherever you are in your journey and on your path, I just wanted to send you some light, some love, and some positivity, some lessons that I have learned throughout this, because baby, it is not easy, and it's better for you to have a community that understands than for you to feel like you're doing this all by yourself. So until next time, you guys, I do love you, and talk to you later.